All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to wait just a couple of minutes to start the presentation, but yeah, so today we will be talking about the ins and outs of the Summer Rising program for 2026. My name is Karen Herrera, and I'm the Senior Parent Center Advocate, and presenting with me today is the Director of the Parent Center, Liliana Diaz-Pedrosa. And so, yeah, so thank you all so much for being here. We've launched a poll, so please feel free to, you know, enter to answer the questions in the poll, and we'll be starting momentarily. All right, thank you to those that have joined the call. I'm once again going to reintroduce. Yes, I'm going to once again reintroduce our presentation for today. So today we're going to be talking about the ins and outs of the Summer Rising program for 2026. My name is Karen Herrera. I am the Senior Parent Center Advocate, and presenting with me today is Liliana Diaz-Pedrosa, the Director of the Parent Center. We've launched a poll, so feel free to answer the questions. I also want to make a note that if you have any questions throughout the presentation, feel free to enter them in the Q&A under the Q&A option in this call. Also, I want to also let you know that the slides will be emailed to you so that you can have them and look at them if you have any questions or want to go back to a specific slide. And yeah, so we'll get started. All right, so using the Q&A option that I just mentioned, please feel free to answer the following questions. Did any of your students participate in summarizing last summer? If yes, if your student did participate, what was their experience like? We'd love to know. All right. So for today's training, we're going to start with talking to you all about what is summarizing. Then we're going to talk about the application, then transportation, specialized supports, and finally, what if there's an issue and how to resolve it. But before we get into all of that, for those that aren't too familiar with Advocates for Children, I'll give you all a brief overview about who we are. So, what is Advocates for Children? AFC is an independent agency that protects the rights of all New York City students. We are education centered, education focused, and we offer a variety of services, starting with our helpline. Our helpline is open Monday through Thursday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you have any questions relating to your child's education or any concerns, please feel free to give us a call. We have a language line. So if English isn't your predominant language, we can connect you to an interpreter. We also offer guides and resources that are readily available on our website. For example, we have a guide to special education that's available in English, Spanish, Bengali, and so on. We also offer free workshops and trainings just like this one. And we have a YouTube channel where you can find past recorded webinars. And finally, we offer free legal services to families, to low-income families. All right, so types of summer programs. So in New York City, there are three general kinds of summer options for students in kindergarten to eighth grade. There's Summarizing, which is a free general program for New York City residents. Then there's Mandated Summer School for students who have received promotion in doubt. And to that, you can add Summarizing. And then the third option is there's also mandated extended school year for students who have IEPs that recommend, like I just said, an extended school year, 12-month services, D75, and these programs can add summarizing. All right. So, Summarizing is a partnership between New York City Public Schools and the Department of Youth and Community Development, DYCD. Summarizing is free and available to any student who resides in and attends school in New York City, whether it's a public, private, or charter school, as long as they are attending a school in New York City, from grades kindergarten to eighth. Um, it includes breakfast, lunch, and a snack. Students in Summarizing will have access to both academic and enrichment programming over the course of the day, including field trips, art activities, and outdoor recreation. And programs will be planned and operated collaboratively by school principals and community-based organizations. We'll call them CBOs. And again, this program is in person for a full day, Monday through Friday, from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Okay, so depending on the grade your student is in, there is a different start and end days. So starting with students that are in kindergarten to fifth grade, Summarizing will begin the 1st of July and conclude the 14th of August in person, Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. The extended day if desired. For 12-month IEP, for students who have 12-month IEP programs and are in a District 75 school. Summarizing will begin the 6th of July and conclude the 13th of August. Again, is also Monday through Friday, 8 to 2:30 a.m. Sorry, no, 8 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And there's also an extended day option that can be added. I also want to note that for these students, it is for these students, it is the mandated summer school program from 8 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Plus the optional extended day for Summarizing. So they would get their mandated services from 8 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And in addition to that, a family can opt in and apply to Summarizing for the extended day option, which will end at 6 p.m. And then moving on, for students who have a 12-month IEP program, but attend a who have a 12-month IEP program and receive services and attend a non-specialized school, so a school that's within the District 1 to 32. Um, Services will begin the 2nd of July and end the 12th of August. And they will receive their mandated services from Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And they can also get the extended day option if they choose that as well. And finally, for ASD Nest and Horizon students who have mandated 12-month services, their program will begin the 1st of July and end the 6th of August. And for this program, it's Monday through Thursday from 8 in the morning to 12 p.m. And they also have the extended day option. I also want to note that there will be, I think this year, the 4th of July is on a Saturday. So the July 3rd there will be no Summarizing on the 3rd of July. Um, all right. Okay, Summarizing enrollment. So here are some very important dates. So families must apply between the 3rd of March to the to March 27th, I mean. So you have between the 3rd of March to March 27th to apply to Summarizing. On April 21st, you will see the results and waitlist in your My Schools account. And you have a deadline to accept the offers. So if your student is accepted to the Summarizings programs, you have to actually accept that offer or you will lose the seat. And there is placement by priority groups. So that includes students mandated for summer school, students in temporary housing, and students in foster care, students with 12-month IEPs, and finally, students who are enrolled in the CBO after school programs. And we'll talk a little bit more about these priority groups later on in the presentation. All right, summarizing academics in the morning. So there are two parts to Summarizing when we're talking about the summarizing, we're talking about the general program. I'm not talking about the mandated special education programs. So summarizing is in the morning. Students will have their academics, ELA, math, STEM, that will be taught by licensed teachers. And this is provided in the morning with social emotional learning. Students in 12-month programs, District 75, extended school year, or in an ASD Nest Horizon program, they will receive their IEP mandated specialized instruction and related services and social emotional learning in the morning. CBO staff, so again, CBO means community-based organizations, are going to be supporting teachers during academic instructions for students that are in kindergarten to 5th grade. And then finally, for those students who are promotion endowed and who are mandated for summer school, they will be automatically enrolled in the morning program, but in order to receive the what is it, the enrichment, the afternoon uh, portion of summarizing, they will have to apply for that. All right. And so let's talk about the enrichment afternoon part of the summarizing program. In a way, I guess this is more of the fun summer camp part of the program. It's extended day services provided by community-based organizations. You must enroll before the start of the summer. So again, if this is something that does interest you, you need to apply for it. It's optional for students with 12-month IEPs and students who are mandated for summer school. Includes sports, games, arts, dance, and other field trips. There, oh, I also wanted a note that it's in all Fridays are all day enrichment, so there is no morning-based academics. So for middle school extended year slash D75 students, there is no community-based organization-led programming on Fridays for those students. All right. And so some of these trips may be to go visit zoos and aquariums, movies, go to a museum, some botanical gardens throughout the city, parks, cruises, arcades and games, and other kinds of activities like athletics and more. And so again, I just want to note that for middle school students, there is no community-based organization-led programming on Fridays. And now we're going to switch gears and talk about applying for summarizing.
One sec. Thank you, Kat. And I think I'm on for this one. Is that right? Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm Liliana. And so for this part, we're going to talk a little bit about just the practicalities of applying to summarizing. So you're going to apply online at the My Schools application that the Department of Education operates. You log in or you create an account. You have to make sure to add all the programs that you're interested in. Now, for students who are in District 75 or extended school year programs, you should try to select the morning location if it's available so that you can stay in the same site. Why is this? Because if there is no summarizing in the morning location, the Department of Education has not established whether or not there's going to be transportation from the morning site to a different site in the afternoon. They claim they're going to try to offer busing, but it is not something that we see as a guarantee. Now, again, for those students who have mandated summer programming, summer rising is an optional program. And so for those students, if you are interested in summer rising, you must apply separately. It's not guaranteed. So you have your mandated services and you apply for summer rising again. Now, siblings can apply for the same program if all the siblings are within the same band. So if they're kindergarten through 5th grade or 6th to 8th grade and they're all within the same band, then they can apply together. And there is a priority for certain schools for siblings. Current 5th graders can apply to either kindergarten through 5th grade programs or 6 to 8 programs or through K through 8 programs, depending on their school. So they have a little bit more options to apply to middle elementary programs. And again, there is some placement priorities and that we will discuss later. Okay. Now, different schools, different summarizing programs may have specific admissions priorities. And generally, what happens is that students in the first priority group would be admitted to the summarizing program as preferentially admitted to the summarizing program before students in the second priority group, then following the third priority group. Now, summarizing is something that's available to all students in New York City, but there are not possibly enough seats for every student that applies. So these priority admissions are very important. So first priority admissions, mandated students, students who have a promotion in doubt or the sibling of such student. Second priority group may be an affiliated student with a 12-month IEP or the sibling of that student in the band, within the band as we talked about. Then we look at students in temporary housing or students who are in foster care or a sibling of that student. And then the different priority groups may appear for some schools and some and not for others. And I'll show you where to look for that information. So affiliated students who are low income, English language learners, and students with disabilities who attend a DYCD program during the school year or their siblings. Next group is other affiliated students who attend the DYCD program during the school year or their sibling. Affiliated low-income students, else, and students with disabilities or siblings, then affiliated students or siblings, and then other low-income students, English language learners, students with disabilities or sibling, and then all other students. So we move away from the mandated students to students who are not necessarily mandated to attend summer school. Okay. Now, middle schools will admit current 6th to 8th graders first within their priority group. If seats remain, then they're going to be looking at eligible 5th graders who are applying for that older age group. Okay. All right. So how do you apply? Um, this is a screenshot of the My School application. And so what you do first is you're going to log in or you're going to create an account. If you need to translate the page into a language other than English, you can use the translation icon and the feature that is on the top of the page, and the whole thing will be translated into the language that you select. Okay. The next part is going to be to look into applying to summarizing seats. Okay. And then it should take you to another screen where you're going to enter the address where you reside. In this case, we placed 151 West 30th Street, which is where Advocates for Children is located. And so here on this map, we see the summarizing programs that are near us with those little, I guess, markers, blue markers, right? And we're going to be looking at summarizing at 440 West 53rd Street, just because that's a really good one to look at. And why not? So in this case, we want to get some more information. And so here we see the affiliated schools to that summarizing program at 440 West 53rd Street. And so we're going to try to identify, is this, what is my admissions priority by looking at the affiliated school. Is one of these schools one that we're going to be affiliated with? In the same page, you're going to find information about accessibility. So whether or not the school, the program where it's located is accessible. You're also going to find out in the bottom which CBO, which community-based organization is running this program. And in this case, we see Manhattan Youth Recreation and Resources. And also, you're going to see right on this page for some schools what their specific admissions priorities may be if they are different from the one that I read to you just earlier. Okay. So lots of information. And then you select the school that you're interested in. You can star it, etc., and you enter the application and you rank the school in the order that you prefer. Okay. And you should apply to as many schools, as many summarizing programs as you're interested in, of course, understanding that admissions priorities will be applied. You will enter you'll be accepted based on your group, admission priority group, and that you may be waitlisted as well to any of the sites or none of the sites, depending on how space is allocated this year. All right. So what's next? You enter your application, right? You hear by April 21st whether or not you got a seat or if you were waitlisted. If you're accepted, you must accept by May 5th or lose the spot. So if we know that the results are going to be available on April 1st, you have a little bit of time to look at the information and maybe see if you can, wiggle out of some of the wait lists, but you certainly must accept what you have been offered by May 5th, or you may lose the spot. Okay. And then the next piece would be to complete any additional forms required by the CBO. That includes any current physical, emergency contacts, and all the paperwork that we're all supposed to fill out. I'll give you a sample of what that looks like in just a minute before the summer begins. If a student is mandated for summer school, remember, you should apply to summer rising at their school or affiliated site. The Department of Education will notify you if the site has to change for a reason or another. So if, for example, the school where you are located right now um, will not offer extended school year programming, they're under construction or something else, the Department of Education will have to notify you if there is a change, and that should inform where you apply for summer rising. Okay. All right, this is just a sample CBO packet. This one's an old one, but you once you accept the site, the CBO will get in touch with you to let you know what their procedures are going to be, the documents that are needed, by when those documents are going to be needed, etc. So follow that information so that you can have a smoother enrollment in this process. All right, let's talk a little bit about transportation. I'm glancing at open questions. I don't see any. So let's see. So who is eligible for transportation? So generally, if you had busing during the school year, you are entitled to busing for summer rising in general. So students with busing on their IEP or a Section 504 accommodation for busing, students in temporary housing or foster care who qualified for an exception, students who receive stop to school busing during the regular school year, and in this case, you must be more than half a mile from the summer rising site. If you received an Omni card during the school year, you will continue to receive an Omni card this time. Okay. All right, so what is it that you're entitled to? So busing to and from in the morning and the afternoon for students in temporary housing, students in foster care, and students who have mandated transportation on the IEP, home to curb, you're going to get morning busing. And if you're summer distance eligible from the homeschool, you're going to get morning busing. But the busing does not include the extended day. The Department of Education will not bus anybody after 3 o'clock. So then what happens? From 3 to 6 p.m., either if the students are eligible for transportation through OmniCards, are going to get those OmniCards. But for everybody else who was eligible for transportation for busing during the school year, you're going to get the prepaid ride share. And what is prepaid ride share? It is just what it is. During the afternoon, these are 2 trips for an adult that is authorized to pick up the student to travel from their site, home site, work site, um, to then pick up the student at the school and then return with the student to the approved address, to the home usually. Okay. Students have to be accompanied by an adult, and it includes right from work home to summer rising site for the parent. Okay. You get a voucher code, you get in touch with Limo Sis, and then you arrange for that transportation. And this is going to be true for any student and all students who are mandated for busing, okay? Because there is no Department of Education busing after 3 o'clock during the summer. All right. So how do you request busing? How does this happen? Well, first, any student who got school year busing is going to be automatically routed. You're going to go into your New York City student account and look at where the route is and follow the process as you did during the school year. Um, what happens if you move? So the first thing you want to do is make sure that the school updates your address. If there is no IEP mandated busing, please complete the exceptions request as soon as possible so that you can address whether or not the student is going to get busing in time. You have to enroll with the correct address by May 13th to be guaranteed a bus route by July 2nd. Okay. So what happens if you miss the deadline, you move later, or there's something else? So if you can you get ride share if the student moves after May 13th or over the summer until busing is ready? So the Department of Education generally needs 10 days for routing. But if you already have a voucher for ride share to go in the morning, for example, and then you can continue using that voucher. You can get, after those 10 days, you can then start getting either ride share or a route in the morning portion of the school. But remember, the students can get ride share for extended day 6 p.m. pickup. Okay. I think it gets complicated where you have students who may not want to participate in the full summer racing program and want to leave before the afternoon portion or cut the day short because for those, when they move, they still have to wait for the 10 days for routing and for ride share if there's no writing within those 10 days. Okay, let's talk about specialized summer racing programs. I'm sorry, supports. I don't see any open questions right now, so I'm going to keep going. All right. So for students who have 10-month IEPs, meaning that they don't have an IEP that extends into the summertime, the Department of Education has to create an accommodation plan for those students. It is developed by the home school and it is provided to the parent and summer racing program um, so that the student can receive the supports that they're used to during the academic portion of the day. Okay. Those supports may include nurses or paraprofessionals. So one-to-one nurses or health paraprofessionals would be provided for the full day. Behavioral support paras would be provided during the academic portion only and as needed during enrichment. And the enrichment is the afternoon part. Okay. If there is a need for other support, please request those in writing as soon as possible to your school. Okay. And then for student with 12-month IEPs, for students who have District 75 recommendations on their IEP, or students who have extended school year for non-specialized schools, and then or students who are in the different autism programs, there are different choices. Okay. Um, the program site will follow the established IEP for those students during the morning, right? And then in the afternoon, they will include any management strategies that needed to be added that are mandated onto the IEP provided by the CBO until 6 o'clock in the afternoon, and these students get priority admissions. Okay. Um, what if you are not interested in summer racing at all and you just want the IEP services that your child is entitled to? Then you don't need to apply to summer racing. You certainly need to contact your child's school so that you can ensure that they know that you're interested in going to the program at that site and they can start setting things up. Okay. Um, but what if you want to do the IEP program that your child is entitled to and also the enrichment portion of the summer rising program, the fun afternoon part? Then you have to apply to summer rising using my schools, as I explained. Rank the program at the morning location so that you can stay in the same site rather than have to go move, find transportation from one site to the other. But if it is not an option, so if the morning program where your child is going to receive their mandated summer services is not an option, you should rank other programs that are nearby, and the Department of Education will aim to offer transportation. That does not sound like much of a promise, but it sounds like there will be some sort of effort. And then remember, there's busing only until 3 o'clock and ride share right after until 6 o'clock. Okay, and this is just a very old individual summer rising accommodation plan just to get a sense of what it might look like. So it just says student has a behavior intervention plan, an IEP, an individualized education service plan. What type of support is the student usually getting? What is a summer rising location? And then other information. And what sort of services are they supposed to get? So is it health? Is it feeding? Is it toileting? Is it ambulation, etc.? So that the school has a short way of understanding what services, what programming, what staffing and support the student is going to be needing based on their mandated IEP or other services. Okay. And you should get a copy of this. This is going to be developed by your school and provided, like I said, to the CBO, but you should get a copy of this. And when you do, please make sure that it is accurate, that it does reflect the services that your child has been mandated to receive. Now, if you have an English language learner, you are then entitled to get some different support. So, for example, you get morning language and literacy instruction, and you can get small group or one-on-one support from the English as a new language teacher. Okay, so that you can also participate fully in the morning and afternoon programs. Now, taking a bit of a detour, if you are currently attending a charter school, there are two different programs that you could apply to. There is a summer rising program that we're talking about, and then there's also a charter school specific program that's called Summer Boost. You have to check with your charter school to see if they are participating in Summer Boost, as well as when the applications open and what the applications entail. You can only enroll in one of the programs. So if you by chance get accepted to Summer Rising or Summer Boost, you have to choose one or the other. Of course, you cannot go to two different programs. Um, and students whose charter schools do not offer Summer Boost or who prefer Summer Rising can just apply to any Summer Rising site. Okay. Now, what if there are problems with Summer Rising? No open questions as of right now, so I'm going to keep going. So general problem solving for summarizing is pretty straightforward. You start with the school, with the parent coordinator, with the principal, and with the CBO site director. So the community-based organization that is offering the services at the summarizing site. You can work with them to try to resolve the issues. And then you can go up the chain of command at the Department of Education, either by writing to summer@schools.nyc.gov or by contacting the superintendent's office. You can also call us. You can email us, you can call us at info@advocatesforchildren.org. This is a shortened email address, but it reaches us just the same, and we'll repeat the number again later at the end. Okay. Now, there are other summer resources that we wanted you to be aware of. Free summer meals are available to children under 18 who are not attending Summer Rising. So in the end, if either you do not find an appropriate spot for your child for the summer, or you're no longer interested in Summer Rising but still want summer meals, there will be hubs where you can go and pick up meals every day. Okay. And here there's other resources. InsightSchools.org has a list of free or low-cost summer programs. It's a relatively good list, and it's updated more recently than ours, which is the summer camp resources. You'll find the list in this, by following this link that talks about summer 2026, but you'll see some older links from 2023 that may still have some relevant information. I also wanted to highlight that the New York City Public Schools, the Department of Education, will be hosting a Beyond Access webinar on March 24th. From 7 to 8 o'clock. You can follow the link to register. And this is a parent's guide to summer opportunities for students with disabilities. It does not specifically mention summer rising, but my best guess is that they will speak about it during the webinar. It is just not listed as part of the content, but it's something also that another resource, something else that you might want to take a look at. All right. All right. So we're nearing the end of our time together. So I wanted to highlight a few reminders. If you forget everything about what we said right now and today, let's just remember this. Summer Rising is optional and by application. So you must apply to Summer Rising. It is not automatic. Every current kinder through 8 New York City student can apply. Any resident, okay? If you go to private school, charter school, public school, homeschool, you can apply to Summer Rising. But seats are not guaranteed for all right? If you're mandated for summer because you're a District 75 student, your promotion is in doubt, or your extended school year student, you're going to apply hopefully first to your school's Summer Rising. or closest affiliated site if none are at at the home school. Okay. If you're not interested in summer rising, just contact the school directly so that you can arrange those mandated summer services. Okay. Charter schools, summer boost or summer rising, either or, but not both. Now, if you're not mandated for summer services, you're going to apply to the sites that you're interested in. All right. If you have an IEP, a 10-month IEP, remember that the school has to create an accommodation plan so that services can transfer into the summer program. And do remember that there are admissions priorities, including at affiliated sites. So when you go and you do your research online in the My Schools app, make sure that you look at what is their admission, the specific school's admissions priorities, so that you can see what your chances of your child's getting into that program might be. All right. And then finally, just a reminder as to when to apply. So the applications are open in My Schools right now. It is not first come, first serve, which is very important, meaning that everyone can apply at a leisure pace. You don't have to be too stressed out, but you have to apply by March 27th. Just apply anytime before. And my recommendation would be not to wait until March 27th. Um, that's just the recommendation. And then by April 21st, you're going to get your results and any wait list that you may be on in your My Schools account. You have a deadline to accept the offer of May 5th, and you have to accept or you will lose your seat. Okay, so if you do nothing and you're accepted by May 5th, if you don't accept, then you will lose the seat. Okay, so you are warned. And with that, we conclude our brief um, summary of the ins and outs of summarizing 2026, but we are staying open for questions. I'm just going to pause the recording. For those of you who are joining us in via recording later, we thank you for listening. We thank you for coming today. And call us with questions. Our helpline number is 866-427-6033. Monday through Thursday, 10 to 4, but you can also email us at info@advocatesforchildren.org. Thank you, Karen, for bravely starting us on this process, and we hope to see you in the next presentation.